Warning, this episode of Complete Whiffle contains disturbing scenes that veteran Factorio players will struggle to comprehend and accept. Depicted in the following presentation are multiple scenes containing serious and sustained breaches of the known best way to do stuff, and features apparent actual knowledgeable player making some of the most appalling and disgusting mistakes known to the game of Factorio Space Age by Wube Publishing Limited, all rights reserved, trademark. You have been warned, watch at your own peril. Evening all, welcome back to Factorio. So yeah, this is going to be a CF, a cluster F. I think I have moments in my life where my brain just buggers off on holiday for a while because I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. So let me go through the thought process with you. Need to clear the biters because obviously a megabase of 3x3 isn't a megabase, so we need to make it bigger. That was my thought as I was literally sat having a cup of coffee this morning. So what I did is I went and made a load of artillery trains, and I kind of thought, well, let's program them so that at the same time they go and park and then shoot, and then, you know, if they get blown up, then, you know, Valhalla awaits them. But then I thought, no, that's not the way to do it. The best thing to do is to put it into one long artillery train and then basically send it to its death. And this is I mean, I've sped this up, but you're about to see basically the full process. I don't think I edit anything from this point forward, and you can just see what an absolute, you know, cockwomble I appear to be when it comes to certain things. I tell you what, don't play Factorio with a few drinks in you. You know that 2-drink buzz? Yeah, I had this. This was filmed at about 11 o'clock at night, and obviously alcohol being the one thing that sustains and prolongs me, I decided this would be a good thing to do. So the idea was, let's just send an artillery train into the new mega base area and let rip. And I kind of thought, you know, if they destroy everything, it doesn't matter because I mean, we're producing so much anyway. To produce like what, a couple of thousand artillery shells here took about a minute, so it's pretty replaceable. What I didn't factor into this is that I'm in the train, I'm driving it. So yeah, kind of stupid. I don't know. I think what you're about to see is basically, I'm sure you've all done this. When you first played the game and you kind of encountered biters in this kind of end game scenario, you then realise that, yeah, you should build defences because when you artillery them, they come for you. I knew this. I know this. But for some reason, I was a bit like, nah, I'll just run away. I'll let them blow it up. I don't mind. And I don't know really what I was thinking. I think this really is an advert for don't play this game drunk, because look at what I'm doing here. It's just, well, it's just absolute bibble nonsense. I don't know. But anyway, so there we go. The thought process was, again, just trying to get this mega base a bit more structured. Honestly, the reality of this whole sort of extension of the mega base, making mega base 2, is very therapeutic. It's like you finish the game, you know, like you play any computer game and you've got like, I don't know, the staff of enduring, which is like, or the fire staff. Do you remember that? Post in the comments if you know what the fire staff is the end game thing for. That will show that A, you're awesome, but B, a bit old, like me. But once you've got that end game artifact, you don't really have much of a game left, because developers tend to say, well, there you go, there's the ultimate powerful crystal thing, or weapon, or whatever. You know, well done. Here's an end boss, now defeat it. Well, in this game, you don't have that, because you can then beat the game, get all the best stuff, all of the legendary everything, and then you can start again. You could start another save, obviously, but I think the more interesting thing to do here is to then go back and rebuild things. I've always had this view. I've always wanted to do a YouTube channel that was based upon completing the game, then starting the video series. So I'll give you an example. Stellaris. If you've ever played Stellaris, it's a huge game that you could spend months playing that. It's a wonderful game. You never played it, well worth a look. But it's like a strategic, top-down, I don't know what you call it, I guess management game really, but you manage a global empire with fleets and things like that. And the reason it's interesting is because as you get to the end game, you conquer the whole universe and blah, blah, blah. Now, or there's other things you can do, but you create effectively, you win the game, is the way I'd like to frame it. What I always quite enjoyed was starting there, thinking, right, now I've done all of this, what could I do now. There you go. Look, it made a little cross. The Pope, we have a new Pope. That was a little interesting sort of cross being shown to me at 11 o'clock after a few drinks, and I started to question, is this a sign? Is this a sign I should be inferring? But as you can see, like, the theory process here was quite good, but it didn't really work. I thought, you know, take the train onto the bridge and then basically shoot stuff. Again, drunk brain. Play at your own warning, I think, with these sorts of things. So I kind of like the idea of playing games when you've actually finished the game, starting there, you know. And I always think, I tried this with Factorio a few times. I basically got the New Save Plus mod, which allows you to, I guess, kind of go to another planet, really. It was before Space Age. But you take with you your suit and everything you've got in your suit. And I tried it, but the thing was, I don't think it was quite right, because what I liked was the giant factory making things for you, because you didn't have that when you start again. And it was nice to have all the drones and things like that. But I think genuinely, I quite like the fact that you've got here, you know, we've got the entire industry of the solar system supporting us with these projects. So it's rather fun, actually. So, you know, artillery needed, no problem. Within 2 minutes, I had tungsten being delivered. I had radars being produced at epic quantities. We already had, you know, TNT being produced at ungodly amounts. So it kind of felt like, yeah, that's good. So anyway, what you see here now is, again, I think I was 3 drinks in at this point, and I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to go and beat up the biters because, you know, end game. I am CEO Pyrex, I was yelling at the top of my voice until my partner came in and told me to shut the F up. Or she's going to run off with Fabio from the office, which I suspect has been happening for some time. I have joked about Fabio many times with her, and initially it was always, oh, you're so funny. And now it's become, huh. So I think I'm a bit, I think I'm a bit worried now. So I'm going to probably find out there is a Fabio, and God help me. But there we go. So what I'm doing here is just stupid. And I'm imagining it's triggering an awful lot of you. I imagine keyboards are being hammered right now, calling me a complete, you know, whatever. And it's because I thought to myself, well, I've got artillery now, so I'll be safe. Look at what I'm doing. I'm literally danger close. You know when they talk about danger close? That's me right now. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if I could take a direct hit with an artillery shell with all of the armor and shields and things that I've got. But, yeah, this is shameful. But I show you it because I think I'm not one of these kind of people that kind of wants to sort of make mistakes and then hide them. Let me look at that. I'm literally baiting them with my own corpse, my soon-to-be corpse. I mean, it does make me laugh. As I sit here sober the morning after doing the voiceover for this, I'm wondering to myself, is there something wrong with me? Do I have like some incredible death wish? And I love my little bastion that I built there out of brick. It does make me laugh, that does. And look, I found a cheat to the game, cliffs. But not for long, because they figured it out. Just so good. Oh, I do love this. Anyway, there you go. This is just absolute lunacy. This is not how to do it, by the way. I should probably just take a moment now. If anyone literally is new to the channel who's just seen this video, because there'll be some epic thumbnail probably promoting it, and look, you'll kind of like go, oh my days, what is this? This looks incredible. And you'll come into the video and then you'll see this complete clown car. Oh, look, I'm using nuclear weapons now. Yeah, that's safe. That's so safe. But there we go. And they come in and they see this absolute nonsense. It does make me chuckle. But then again, look, this is games. It's got to be fun, right? I think that's kind of my issue, is that I kind of know the way to defeat biters. I do know, honestly. I've played this game for thousands of hours. And I know that you should build defenses and, you know, bait them and then blah, blah, blah. But every so often, you just want to go a little bit crazy. And I think that's true of life. I mean, you know, you need an outlet. And if you're someone that doesn't ever go crazy in life, try it. And I think you'll see that it's both dangerous and rewarding at the same time. Obviously, I don't mean go and drive your car 100 miles an hour down the wrong way on the freeway. Don't do that, because that's not dangerous. That's just dumb. I mean stuff like, you know there's a way to walk home every day from work. Try and go the other way. You know, it's just simple stuff, really, but you never know. I have this theory, actually, and I'll share it with you, and it's very reminiscent of the Jim Carrey film Yes Man, if you've ever seen that. It's where he just has to say yes to everything. I mean, I'd never seen that film or read the book. Danny Wallace wrote the book. Fun fact, Danny Wallace was the roommate of Robbie Williams. That's kind of why he's famous. But then he wrote a book and it was very good. But anyway, nice guy, very interesting. Saw him on UK TV an awful lot in about the 90s. And then not so much since. Oh, look at me. I'm playing chicken with artillery now. Look, I'm literally playing chicken with artillery. This is 4 drinks in. Who knows? But I just don't know what I'm doing. That's crazy. But then again, that's life. Anyway. So my philosophy, which I think has served me well, is answer every phone call and don't say yes to everything because that's dumb. But the answer every phone call and respond to every, I don't know, question that you're given in life. You don't have to say yes, but I noticed that, and I think when I look at that, they're literally destroying the train. They literally are waiting for me. I love it. Now, the interesting thing is they're danger close to the train. So actually, this is going to be quite easy. I remember this. I have a vague memory of this. It shows you I must have been quite drunk. But my philosophy is answering every phone call is you never know what's coming. Yes, there might be marketing. Yes, there might be this, there might be that. But, you know, opportunity is something in life that I really do think there is not enough of. And I think, you know, chances, changes, things like this, they're all quite interesting. And I've always had this philosophy of just answer every phone call. You know, if somebody messages you, try and respond to it. I'm not brilliant at it. You know, no one is. But it's one of those things that I think has served me quite well. In fact, you know, again, just true life story now, I actually got a really quite good job from doing this. I had this sort of mantra of, when I was younger, when I was given like a company mobile phone, oh my days, this was a huge moment. I think it was a Nokia 6210. That shows you how absolutely valuable I was to the company that they gave me the worst phone in the world ever. But back in the day, good phone, pretty good. You could play Snake on it, it was pretty good. Anyway, so they gave me this phone, but I had this sort of tendency as being a younger man not to answer the phone. So, because again, I worked in kind of like construction and real estate, so literally people ring all the time because all the old gits that I worked for, not one of them basically would send an email. They didn't trust email because they thought, I don't know if you've ever heard of the conspiracy of 666 on barcodes. If you haven't, go research it. But there was a belief that barcodes, when they came in, were the sign of the devil because they had the code 666 in them, okay? And in fact, it was very big in Japan, this whole thing. There was a whole movement created that was very anti-barcodes. In an aside, and I know that I work with people who are like that. They believe that technology truly was the devil. Okay, so like if you sent somebody an email, they'd look at you like you just literally stomped on their kitten. And I found that fascinating, really, because like these were people that would never send an email, so they just constantly ring you to ask you the most inane, stupid stuff. So I got into a bit of a thing because I worked in a factory. We were building parts of a factory, and it meant that you had to be a bit careful where you took the phone call because obviously if you're in a factory, it's a bit dangerous to do that. Long story short, I just stopped answering the phone because it was just like, oh man, I can't do it. It's too difficult. It's too many people around me. And I got told off for it. Literally, my bosses sat me down in head office and said, you don't answer your phone. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you know, there's a reason I don't do it. But then I realised, oh, it's also because I just don't like talking to people on phones. And I think that kind of showed some of my mental state. But what I found interesting is from that day forward, in this long, rambling, bibbly story that just is completely aside to what the craziness in the background you're watching, was answer every phone call. So I have this thing now where if somebody rings you, even if it's unknown number, just answer it. Because if it's like a scam call, which is a very prevalent thing in the UK at the moment, an awful lot of people ringing us to tell us we owe money left, right and centre. You can just literally either string them along or just tell them to get lost. So, you know, you can do interesting things. One of the things I know my friend does is they take the phone, put it on the table, they put a saucepan over it and they bash it with a spoon. That does kind of annoy them, but, you know, there we go. So I think that kind of is why I think you should answer every phone call, really. It's that whole opportunity thing. So I think, yeah, if you're kind of trying to do something, just do it. Like what I'm doing here, it worked. Look, it worked. I actually cleared everything. I'm probably about to cause more trouble now because I think we do have some... Yeah, so look, we're about to continue the destruction because you can see there's an awful lot more death about to rain. But it kind of worked. Now, how many of you would literally have done it this way? You'd have spent ages building defences, you'd have built walls, and then you would have literally brought the train in and it would have been 100% guaranteed that you won, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, because if I was not drunk, I would have absolutely done the same thing. But because I was a bit squiffy, as we say, I decided to try and, well, freestyle it. And I think in the process of freestyling, I rather enjoyed it. I would say that running around and getting, you know, sort of rained on with artillery was actually quite amusing to me. And in the end, it worked anyway. So, you know, this worked well. So the final bit now you're about to see is me having learned that the artillery then obviously brings groups. I knew that, but it brings groups that then come and destroy. They come to where the artillery was originally fired. So what we do now is we basically then intercept them. So we send the train away, and then we basically start to intercept using the Spidertron. So in a weird way, it was like a birth of a whole new tactic that I probably never would have done. It's completely unorthodox. Like, you wouldn't do this if you were sober. I mean, you know, let's be honest, you wouldn't. But I think this has rather worked, well, it's worked quite well, actually. I enjoyed it. Like, I literally sat and played this for about an hour, and you're seeing a much condensed version of it. But I would say I probably had more fun doing this than most other things I've done in the game in the last few days, I would say. And I've got to admit, you know, the game is still brilliant. Like, I am thoroughly surprised at how there's still 1,000,001 things that I want to do in the game. And the fact that we've now kind of completed all of the big goals, it makes me now really more interested to try and complete some of the things that I didn't do. So, you know, the double mega base is one, but I'm really thinking Vulcanus is probably somewhere that needs some love. And the other one is Aquilo. Like, I actually was responding to a few comments yesterday, and there were some really good comments around what you could possibly do with Aquilo. And one of them particularly I quite liked is, you know, the mega base. We've never done a mega base on Aquilo because there's just no point. But with the with Project Snowflake, or Snowflake Killer Base Death Extraordinaire above it, we should probably be doing more with that, because I think that base is providing all of the basic things that we need. I think we could even do oil on that platform now. So we are actually doing oil, but you know what I mean, like sulfur and things like that. So I reckon that probably one of the things we'll do once we finish this kind of second project of Megabase 2 is, I think we're going to go and look at that. We also have the further problem that Gleba is now getting pentapod attacks again. We lost almost an entire hexagon while this nonsense was going on. Luckily, it was one of the ones that had nothing in it. But it's interesting to see that the pentapods are basically attacking again. So I do think we're going to have to figure out how to deal with them again, which is, you know, it's fun. I do think Gleba is my worst and my best place because it's so difficult, but yet, I don't know, there's something about it that really does make me smile. But there we go. And I think Nauvis, you know, it is the OG, that's for sure. But what I would say about Nauvis is that you don't ever really use too much of it, and I think this is kind of my issue with the whole thing. I wish I'd started the save with reduced ore patches. I think that was my biggest mistake, is, you know, 30 million iron, you're not going to change that in days and days of play. And I think, I mean, unless, post in the comments, is there a way to maybe just make things and destroy them? Maybe that's what I should do. Just make, I don't know, rocket components and just destroy them, you know, things like the low density structures, fuel, things like that, and just start it so that at least we're whittling down the resources. Because as I see it at the moment, we have resources for years to come in the game, which I think is a bit sad. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.